OK, let's get right on and get my next guest out. I love watching him do what he does best. I can't get enough of him, whether he's juicing elephant dung or feasting on 3-week-old zebra or even doing this.
There's one particular family who was stranded in a life raft and all of this water had gathered in the bottom of it, but they'd been feeding off turtles that was mixed with turtle blood. It had gone fetid, and the only way they managed to stay hydrated was by using that fetid water and giving themselves an enema.
The Robertson family survived 38 days adrift because they were willing to do anything to stay alive. The mother was a nurse and knew that the colon can absorb fluid. By performing an enema, you bypass the gag reflex, rehydrating your body without the risk of vomiting.
I guess all you can do is lie back and think of England.
Really please welcome the fabulous Mr. Bear Grylls, ladies and gentlemen. Here he is. Great to have you here. Bear Grylls, the survivor.
There's so many nice clips you could have shown, and you picked showing my backside. Kylie and me were getting on so well until that bit.
But it's great to have you here. Thank you for joining us, Bear Grylls. I loved seeing you on TV before I met you. I think I appreciate it even more now because I went away with Bear and I was lucky enough to be invited to be on his show where you go on a wild weekend. But a lot of people said to me after I came back from that, they said, oh, he went easy on you. And yet what happened in actual fact was a big chunk of the filming they couldn't use, could they?
Well, things about the wild, often it looks easier than it is, and what you don't always see is humidity or heat or the kind of, you know, often the angle of things. But you did brilliantly, you know, you were right out of your comfort zone. You said at the start, listen, I've never done anything like this before. I'm in your hands, look after me. And
looking like a natural. But they lost a lot of the filming, didn't they?
Well, we did. It was a shame.
What are you laughing at that? There was a stage when we went near an active volcano and he had me on a lead like I was some kind of a pet. It was just a little bit humiliating.
Well, I think that bit made him, but basically I think the cameraman dropped the footage in the sea.
Because at the end of the evening, we made beautiful love, and they filmed that as well, didn't they, Bear?
It was all cut out, it was all lost.
What do your kids think? They must think, I mean, because you've got 3 boys, is that right?
3 boys, Jessie, Marmaduke, Huckleberry, 9, 6 and 3, totally wild.
And they must, I mean, having a dad who's, you know, capable in the ways you are, and whilst that must be a great thing for them. Do you pass it on to them? Do they show the same kind of tendency towards roughing it?
Yeah, I think as they love it. You know, my eldest the other day was classic because I was training at home, I was doing the press, I was going, you know, 724, 724. And,
yeah, you and me both, yeah, last night. It was a sit-ups 2007, 2008, yeah.
And I was a pull-up 3.
I run out of numbers sometimes, I don't know you.
But anyway, I said to her, I said, would you fill out the water bottle? I had a water bottle there. I said, there's a hose round the corner. They threw him that. 740.
Yeah, we get the idea.
And anyway, came back in with a big grin on his face, gave it to me. I said, thanks. Yeah, swigged at it, and it just gone. He's peed in it. He just peed it.
Why are you surprised? Why are you surprised?
I'm not surprised. I thought, what sort of dirty, rotten trick is that? And exactly right. He just goes, Papa, I've seen you drinking your pee. And it's hard to kind of come back from that.
So, are you going to have a go there? You've got the 3 boys. Are you going to have any more kids? I guess you'd like to have a go.
I'd love loads of kids. I mean, somebody said I've got to wear tighter underpants. That's how you get the girl. But, I don't know. It might be an urban myth. I never wear underpants. I always, like, you know, I've always just been a... I do occasionally now.
I didn't have that on my list of questions, but...
It was I have started wearing them more now because it was Dan, our cameraman, who said, Bear, listen... It was actually... We were in the Chinese jungle, and I stepped over something and twisted my nut. And it was like agony. I was literally like this, going, ah! And I couldn't move about half an hour.
You twisted your testicle?
In some weird way, but then they kind of unravelled and it was okay. Anyway, point being, Dan, the cameraman, he said, well, listen, my wife, my girlfriend works in an old people's home. She said, you can always tell the ones who've never worn underpants because it's down around the knees.
Wow,
so
wow.
And so from then on, I thought, I don't want to have them around my knees. No. I don't want to twist them again. He said, wear underpants.
Well, then that's a very lovely lesson. But your father, who I'm quite fascinated by, because you mentioned him to me, and he was a Tory MP, wasn't he? Was he a wild guy? Was he an outdoors man? Did he wear underpants? What did you learn from him?
Well, he was a Royal Marine when he was younger, and then he became a politician. He died about 10 years ago now, but he was He was actually pretty wild, you know. His underpants, he used to wear one and change it every 2 weeks. You know, I remember a pair of his was so threadbare that he was like wearing a sieve, do you know what I mean? And I grew up thinking, that's cool.
He actually wore them out.
He did wear them out, you know. They even had a name. Anyway, that's a whole nother story.
What name did he have for his
I'm not
underpants?
sure Dad would be smiling down going, don't tell me about my underpants.
What was the name of the pants?
They were called his ladders. I don't know what. Anyway, but apparently for the girls, the things you've got to wear them tight, and that's how you get a female, little girl.
That's how we got into it. But I don't think the girls want to see, if you're in, you're a married man, but when you strip off, you don't want to see the budgie smugglers, really, do you? You don't want to see the tight pants. Do you want to see... Kylie, do you like the tight pants or the loose pants?
You don't need a VPL.
You don't need a VPL. Russell, do you wear underpants?
Yes.
Matt, are you garbed suitably for the occasion?
I'm more saggy gonads.
That's the rock and roll way, though, you see. That's what that is. But your dad, you told me a story, which I'd love you to hear, which is because he was a big Margaret Thatcher fan, wasn't he? And he passed that on to you when you were a little boy, didn't he?
Well, he didn't pass it on. I didn't have any choice, you know. I remember the first time I took the train on my own somewhere.
How old were you?
It's about probably 7 or 8, you know. And you look back, I mean, now I'd no sooner put my 9-year-old on train on its own than go to the moon. But anyway, for whatever reason, they said, you're going to visit Sam, your buddy up in Colchester, you know, on the train. Mum will pick you up at the other end. And I remember my dad putting me in this I Love Maggie T-shirt. And I was like sort of the goofy, skinny little kid with a big I Love Maggie getting on a train through East London. It was like sort of suicide.
Wow.
Do you know? I started martial arts at a young age after that. I thought, I've got to learn how to look after
that's a way
myself.
to toughen a boy up, wasn't it? Yeah. None of us are getting any younger. How much longer do you think you can... You seem in pretty good shape to me, but could you still keep going for years to come, do you think, or do you see the end in sight?
The thing is, I love what I do, you know. I kind of exercise a lot, I train hard, I do quite a lot of yoga to try and keep bendy and stuff, but yes, on the whole... Thing is, you know, when I have to give it up, I'll give it up. At the moment, I love it.
I'm going to accuse you of making false claims now, Bear.
Okay.
Because I read the other day you were boasting to someone, and it is boasting, I consider it idle boasting. Okay? You were boasting that you'd recently mastered the backflip at 38. Now, I've stood near JLS and it didn't rub off on me, right? You can't do a backflip.
Well, I wasn't boasting. What happened is that it was a few years ago now. I hit 30. I thought, it's so mad that I don't want to reach the end of my life and I can't do a backflip. If I don't learn it now, I'm never going to learn it. So I got on YouTube. I thought, how to teach yourself the backflip. Had a few sort of misfires, you know, a couple of visits to the car and practice.
So you just started
I did nail
YouTube.
it, but it wasn't very elegant. I haven't done it for a while, so...
Well, I bought a crash mat in, just in case, because I read this, and I thought, OK, I don't actually want you to break anything. OK, well, nothing major. Well, maybe a finger would be fun.
Oh,
but nothing
do you really
big.
want me to do this?
Yes, we'd love to see you try.
Okay,
so you learned this off YouTube?
I learned this off... I learned this off YouTube. Thing is, you kind of want to stretch a little bit.
Yeah,
and you need some motivation. Why don't you say, like...
Kylie.
No, say, watch out. Say, watch out, Bear, there's a snake.
OK. Watch out, Bear, there's a snake! That's too good. I take it all back. You still got it going on. That was great. Wow. That was great. OK, Bear, you know, when I did that show with Bear, afterwards, for weeks, people were talking to me about it and saying, what's Bear like? And I'm delighted to say Bear has a book out, Bear Grylls, A Survival Guide for Life. So this is kind of not necessarily about how to find stuff in the wild. There's some of that in there, but it's also just kind of like a self-help guide and like life lessons you've learned, I guess.
Yeah, so there's none of the kind of how to survive in the wild. I've done that as a book, and a lot of people say, you know, we know your stories, but what are the things you've learned? And nobody taught me at school stuff like, you know, how to achieve goals, how to thrive when it's difficult, what sort of character traits matter. And, you know, they taught me lots of Latin and maths. I learned very quickly I wasn't good at Latin and maths, and I wish someone had taught me these lessons. So there's stuff that I've learned from mistakes a lot of the time, but that have helped me achieve stuff in my life. Well,
I've been browsing through it, and it's a great read. I think it's some lovely things you say in it, and all of it makes sense to me. It's good stuff. I love watching you on TV. I love seeing your shows. You've taken a number of celebrities out, genuine celebrities, not B-listers like me. You were out with Will Ferrell and Jake Gyllenhaal. How do you get the big Hollywood guys to go on those trips with you? Because they're genuinely quite dangerous. I mean, there is an element of risk in all of those events, especially I know the Jake Gyllenhaal one, that went a bit wrong, didn't it?
Well, it is always difficult taking these guys out. I remember having a phone conversation with the insurance people before we did the Will Ferrell one, and it was like a conference call. You could hear all these Americans in LA, and they were going, Bear, can you guarantee us 100% that Will be safe? I was thinking, well, do I lie or do I... So I went, no, I can't guarantee you be safe, but I promise I'll do my best to look after them. There's like a pause, you know. But they've all been great, and you were great. And
I was the best, I know, but...
Jake had an effort, though, because I took him to Iceland. We had the worst winter storm they'd had there for 10 years. They literally, at Reykjavik Airport, they had a jumbo jet blown sideways. Wow. You know, meanwhile, we were 6,000 foot up a mountain, him on a short rope, both of us been blown like tumbleweed across this glacier. But he loved it, and he really thrived the harder it got. You know, we slept in a snow cave overnight. Lots of people said that you slept in the snow cave with Jake Gyllenhaal from Brokeback Mountain.
Bear, you're gonna teach us all something here this evening. You're gonna teach us how to basically hunt in the wild. Is that right?
I am. I'm going to show you how to hunt for food.
Okay, we're going to call this section of the show, which will be coming up for the break, Bear's Bullseye. Okay, Russell, you up for this?
Certainly am.
Even with your bad thumb. Kylie, you fancy a bit of this?
Uh-huh.
Matt, I don't know if you're up for it. You've got to sing straight afterwards.
I'll give it a go.
He's going to give it a go. Okay, after the break, we'll all be playing Bear's Bullseye. But first, join me in saying thank you to Mr. Bear Grylls.